Friends, here we are talking about basic understanding about shell script execution. So here shell script could be bash shell script or k shell script or t shell script or any kind of shell script. So how shell script is going to execute their code? Let me explain this with an example. See, suppose this is a simple shell script just to find Java and Docker versions. And if you observe this code, the very first line is shebang line. That means which kind of shell you are using to execute your remaining lines in your code. So as of now, we are using bash. And we know that not only a bash, all shells are interpreters. So interpreters will execute their code line by line. So whenever if you execute your shell script, this shell, nothing but bash shell, is going to execute your remaining lines line by line. So they don't execute all lines at a time. Your shell will read line by line and will execute that. That means this shell is going to execute first the first line, that means Java space hyphen version code or logic. After that, it will go to next line, that is Docker space hyphen hyphen version. After that, we'll go to next line. So as of now, there are no lines, so it will stop here itself. Now let me run it. Yes, you're going to get output for Java and then Docker. So it is executing line by line. Or else, let me add one more command in between these two commands. Let's say sleep 4. And now, if you execute your shell script, once again, your shell is bash shell. Bash shell is an interpreter. That means the code which is there in your script will execute line by line. Now, if I run, see that first you are going to get output for Java command version. And then it is going to wait for 4 seconds. That means that is the next command, sleep 4. After 4 seconds, it is going to execute Docker hyphen hyphen version. That's what you are getting here. Let me go with one more example. Let's say I'm going to take new.sh script. Anyway, first you have to write your shebang line, that is in my case user bin bash. Let me take one of the mathematical equation. Let's say y equals to mx plus c. So here, suppose if you know m value and let's say x value and then c value, then you can find out y value. So in your mathematics, directly you can go and substitute your m, x and c values in your y equals to mx plus c, and then you can get y value as 10. Same thing you can also perform in your shell script. So if you want to write y equals to mx plus c, there is a logic, there is a syntax in your shell script, bash shell script. As of now, I am writing it. Later we'll discuss how we can do that. So simply m star x plus c. But anyway, to get the y value, you have to know m, x and c. So I have to mention that in my shell script. So let's say m equals to, x equals to, and then c equals to. Then finally, just I am displaying a y value. Don't worry about these syntaxes. Just try to understand the concept, how your shell is going to execute your code. Now let me run this shell script and see the result. See, you are getting y value as 0. Actually, y value would be 10, but you are getting 0 because we know that shell is going to execute your code line by line. So as of now, guys, don't consider this line because this is commented. That means shell don't execute this line. And empty lines also don't execute. So your shell is going to execute the very first line is y equals to mx plus c. That means at very first it is going to calculate your y value. So your shell is there at 5th line. By that, your shell doesn't know what is m, what is x and what is c value, because all those values are defined after this line. Whenever it comes to 6th line, then only your shell comes to know about m. But before coming to 6, 7, 8 lines, in 5th line itself, you are validating, you are finding y value. So by this, shell doesn't know m, x and c. That's why you are getting 0. So before coming to 5th line, I mean your y equals to mx plus c expression, if you define m, x and c values before your y equals mx plus c, now your shell knows about m, x and c. That's why you will get y value, exact y value now. Now let me run and see the result. Yes, you are getting 10 now. So be clear. Now you understand that shell is going to execute the code line by line. So the very first line, m equals to 2. Now your shell knows that m value is 2. After that it will come to fifth line. Now in fifth line, x equals to 4. Now shell knows that x value is 4. After that, sixth line. So in sixth line, c equals to 2. Now shell knows that c value is 2. Now in seventh, there is some logic that is nothing but validating y value by taking this expression, that is mx plus c. Now by this, shell already knows these three variable values. That's why it is substituting m, x and c, and then it is calculating. So after that, anyway, empty lines. You don't worry about empty lines. Then in 10th line, you have logic to display y value. That's why you are getting 10. So guys, finally, shell scripting is going to execute their code line by line. That's it. Okay, thank you.